Until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life and you will call it fate. This quote by Carl Jung isn't just about psychology. It touches the heart of what many call karma. But what if everything you're experiencing today, joys, challenges, encounters, losses, is a direct reflection of the invisible seeds you've been planting for years? Are we truly aware of the kind of energy we're putting out into the world? Or are we just reacting, hoping something out there will change, without changing anything in here? Today, we're going to explore the laws of karma, but not in the mystical or moralistic way they're often presented. We're going to look at them as maps of consciousness, universal principles that, when understood, transform the way we move through life. This video isn't about fate in a fatalistic sense. It's about vibrational self-responsibility. It's about how every thought, choice, and action silently shapes the reality you call my life. And if you stay with me until the end, you'll not only understand what these laws mean, you'll also recognize which ones you're already living consciously or unconsciously, and how you can start transforming them right now. So take a deep breath. Let's start with the first law, the most essential of them all. The first of the 12 laws of karma is known as the Great Law. It's simple, direct, and relentless. As you sow, so shall you reap. But what does that actually mean in practice? Imagine that every thought you nurture, every word you speak, and every action you take is an energetic seed cast into the invisible soil of the universe. Some sprout quickly, others take years, but all of them, without exception, return in the form of experience. It's not punishment, it's vibrational coherence. The universe doesn't respond to what you wish for, it responds to what you are. That's why the second law, the law of creation, invites us to take an active role. Not as victims of circumstances, but as co-creators of reality. It's not about trying to control the world around you, but about aligning your inner vibration with the kind of life you want to live. This is where many people get lost. They want peace, but they cultivate conflict. They want love, but they vibrate with neediness. They want abundance, but feed thoughts of lack. And then they wonder why nothing changes. Alan Watts once said, "You are not separate from the universe. You are the universe experiencing itself." That changes everything. Because from that point on, you understand, the world outside you is a mirror. And if the reflection is distorted, the adjustment begins within. And then comes the third law, the law of humility. It confronts us with an uncomfortable truth. What you resist, persists. The ego wants to deny, rationalize, project onto others. But life keeps bringing back what you refuse to see. You know that recurring situation? That same kind of person who always crosses your path? That same feeling that comes back, even after everything has changed? That's not bad luck. That's a mirror. And only when you recognize, without judgment, what's inside, what needs to be seen, can the cycle begin to dissolve. You plant with your thoughts. You create with your actions. And you transform when you have the courage to face what keeps showing up. Nothing is by chance. And everything can change if you do. The fourth law is the law of growth. And it reminds us of something we often prefer to forget. Wherever you go, there you are. Moving to a new city, changing jobs, starting a new relationship. None of that truly transforms your life if the main character, you, stays the same. Real change doesn't begin with circumstances, but at the core of your being. The thoughts you nurture shape the kind of reality you attract. And there's no shortcut to that. That's why the fifth law, the law of responsibility, is so challenging. Because it requires you to stop blaming others. Your family, your partner, your boss, the government. The pain may have come from outside, but what you do with it is your responsibility. Jung said that everything that irritates us about others can lead to a deeper understanding of ourselves. That's more than just a nice quote. It's an invitation to self-reflection. Every time something in someone else hurts or bothers you, there's a part of your shadow trying to come to the surface. Something unresolved, hidden, asking to be seen. And then we reach the sixth law, the law of connection. This is the law that dissolves the illusion of separation. Nothing is isolated. Every choice, every small action is connected to something greater. What you're experiencing today began long ago, maybe in a decision that seemed insignificant, maybe in a belief you inherited and never questioned. It's as if time isn't linear, but spiral. The past, present, and future are intertwined. What you heal now echoes into what has passed and helps build what is still to come. That's why no step should be underestimated. Even the smallest moves carry weight. Even quiet choices shape the landscape of your life. The seventh law is the law of focus. It reminds us of a truth the modern mind often insists on ignoring. You can't focus on two things at the same time. Trying to live with one foot in presence and the other in chaos is like trying to walk blindfolded. Your energy gets scattered, and where there is no focus, there is no conscious creation. Life is like a lens. When you aim it with clarity, everything lights up. But when you try to look in all directions at once, everything becomes blurry. When you focus on what's positive, on what's true, on what aligns with your values, the outside noise loses power. Distractions dissolve. Chaos loses its appeal. The eighth law, the law of giving and hospitality, is about coherence. It's not enough to talk about compassion, kindness, or awareness. Life watches your actions, not your words, and everything you offer to the world, whether willingly or not, reveals your deepest beliefs. Some people speak of love, yet live in judgment. Some preach generosity, but withdraw at the smallest request for help. Karma doesn't respond to what you say. It responds to what you vibrate and how that vibration shows up in the world. Then comes the ninth law, the law of presence. Perhaps the most challenging in a time where everything pulls us into the past or pushes us into the future. But the truth is, you only have power now. The past has already taught you. The future is still a possibility. The only moment where you can truly do something different is this one. Being present isn't some unreachable mystical state. It's simply being whole where you are. It's listening without planning your reply. It's feeling without running away. It's walking without hiding from your own shadow. And even if the pain from the past still lingers, or the dreams of the future still feel big, nothing will bloom unless you're here, fully, consciously, alive. These three laws, when understood together, form a key: focus, coherence, presence. Three pillars that silently rebuild your reality from the inside out. The 10th law is the law of change. And perhaps this is the most unforgiving of them all, because it allows no illusions. It doesn't negotiate with excuses. It simply repeats the lesson until you learn. Life will put you in the same situations with different faces. It will make you hear the same truths through different voices. It will hand you the same challenges in new packaging, until at some point something within you changes. It's not the world that needs to change. It's your attitude toward it. There's no point in expecting new results if your actions remain the same. Change isn't intention, it's action. And every small different choice breaks a pattern. The 11th law, the law of patience and reward, comes as a reminder for the days when everything feels too slow. We live in a rush, in a constant search for instant fixes. But what holds true value is never born from impulse. It blooms at the right time. A tree doesn't bear fruit the day after it's planted. It needs to be watered, protected, strengthened. It's the same with the soul. Every inner step requires silence, waiting, and maturing. The universe doesn't move at the pace of the ego. It moves at the rhythm of the essence. And then we arrive at the final one, the law of meaning and inspiration. It invites us to go beyond the idea of karma as something individualistic, centered only on personal return. It says that true value lies in the impact you have on the whole. What you do with your life doesn't end with you. Every choice sends ripples. Every inner transformation you go through opens space in the collective field. Your healing is a service. Your awakening is a call for others to awaken too. Rudolf Steiner said that true spiritual development begins when a person realizes that their growth is no longer just a personal pursuit, but a need the world has. And that's exactly it. Karma is not a debt to be paid. It's an invitation to awareness, to presence, to meaningful action. You can be more than the result of your past. You can be the turning point. Even if you don't believe in karma as some invisible spiritual force governing cause and effect, it's impossible to ignore the wisdom these laws reveal. They don't ask for faith, they ask for awareness. The truth is, on some level, we all feel when we're out of alignment. There's a subtle discomfort that sets in, a repetition of patterns, a restlessness that won't go away. The laws of karma are, above all, invitations to listen to that discomfort instead of silencing it. They remind us that there is no separation between intention and outcome, between thought and reality, between who you are and what you experience. When you apply these laws in your daily life with simplicity, with humility, with presence, something begins to shift, not on the outside but within. And that inner shift, almost unnoticeable at first, completely transforms how you relate to the world, to others, and to your own story. You stop reacting. You start choosing. You stop blaming. You start taking responsibility. You stop repeating. You start creating. And maybe this is the most important point. Karma is not about the past. It's about what you do with it now. In every moment, you are writing the next chapter of your journey. With every choice, you are redefining the quality of the energy you carry. So pause for a moment and look honestly. Which of these laws spoke to you the most? Which one is inviting you to shift something, even something small, starting today? Write it down. Reflect. Share it with someone who's also seeking to live with more awareness. Because the more people awaken, the lighter the path becomes for all of us. In the end, living in alignment with these laws isn't about having a perfect life. It's about having a life with purpose, with direction, and with truth. It's about coming home, not to a place in the world, but to yourself. These laws aren't rigid rules. They're reflections of how energy moves. They show us that the universe isn't against you, nor is it indifferent. It's responding, and it always has. What you experience is a response. What you attract is a reflection. Joseph Campbell said that the cave you fear to enter holds the treasure you seek. The laws of karma aren't about avoiding pain. They're about going through it with awareness, transmuting it, and in doing so, discovering what lies beyond the repetition. You don't need to apply all the laws at once. You don't need to understand everything perfectly. What matters most is starting, with small gestures, small adjustments, small choices made with more awareness than before. The seed of change doesn't need to be big. It just needs to be true.